It's 4 o'clock and it's nationwide. Welcome to the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Ogochkuka Ona. Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission, Bishop Stephen Adegbite, says Christian leaders are working closely with their Muslim counterparts under the Nigeria Interreligious Council in fostering peace and mutual understanding among Nigerians. Bishop Adegbite was reacting to the recent remark by the U.S. President Donald Trump that Christian persecution is taking place in Nigeria and that the United States may take military action. He notes that both faiths have been victims of insurgency in the past years.
See, ethnic democracy with more than 220 million citizens and over 250 ethnic nationalities. It is home to Africa's largest Christian and Muslim population living side by side. Any reckless military action or misinformed intervention from abroad could destabilize the entire West Africa sub-region, triggering refugee crisis, economic collapse, and extremist resurgence. Nigeria's sheer population size and its ingenuity of its people means that instability here will ripple far beyond our borders, undermining peace, trade, and democracy across Africa. What we need is a strategic cooperation, not coercion.
And elsewhere, the Committee of Experts of the African Union Peace and Security is meeting in Abuja to discuss threats to the continent's security. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the meeting, at the instance of the Office of the National Security Advisor, is preparatory to AU's Peace and Security Council.
A committee of experts of the African Union Peace and Security Council meeting in Abuja. The goal, to review threats to security on the continent and advise the Peace and Security Council.
We gather at the time where the continent is in serious challenges. These challenges demand a renewed collective commitment of this critical committee. Your role to guide and advise on African-led responses is strategic and need to be coordinated and adapted to local realities.
Terrorism, armed conflicts, transnational crime, political instability and military coups remain threats to security on the continent.
The government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria remains deeply committed to the war against terrorism and to advancing the cause of peace and security on the African continent. This commitment was further demonstrated during the high-level African Counterterrorism Summit held in Abuja in April 2024.
The outcome of the meeting is expected to shape the decisions of the Peace and Security Council, the standby decision-making body of the African Union responsible for management and resolution of conflicts on the continent. The forum also seeks to strengthen strategic security networks among the AU experts in view of the dynamic nature of the emerging threats in the African continent. From the National Counter-Terrorism Center here in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Thank you, Ismail. Now, concerned party loyalists under the banner of PDP Patriots have reaffirmed their unwavering support for Ambassador Ilia Damagun-led National Working Committee, condemning the recent wave of defections by some elected officials as detrimental to party growth. The group, at a media briefing in Abuja, appealed to PDP Board of Trustees, which is the conscience of the party, to urgently resolve the crisis in the party. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Statement by the PDP.
The gale of suspensions in the PDP is a major agenda here. PDP patriots believe that the development is destabilizing and harmful to party unity.
We, the PDP patriots, hereby affirm our total support and loyalty to the People's Democratic Party as espoused by the PDP founding fathers on the pedestal of peace, inclusivity, fairness, and justice.
The group cautioned defectors against maligning the PDP, saying their departures were driven by personal ambition rather than internal party crises. They commended grassroots members for their loyalty, noting that the base of the party remains strong and committed. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja for Brazil to represent President Bola Tinubu at the 30th session of the United Nations Climate Change Conference, tagged COP30, scheduled to hold in the South American country. The summit, convened by Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, in collaboration with other partners, will hold from 6th to 7th November in the city of Belém, capital of the state of Pará, in the Brazilian Amazon. Vice President Shettima is billed to join other world leaders, development partners and business executives at the event themed Climate Action and Implementation, with a strong focus on adaptation, forests, biodiversity and climate justice. On the first day of engagements in Belém, Vice President Shettima will attend the General Plenary of Leaders, where he is expected to present Nigeria's Climate Action Address. He will also take part in the launch of the Tropical Forest Forever Fund and participate in a roundtable chaired by President Lula on climate and nature before attending an Amazonian cocktail for heads of delegation hosted by the President of Brazil. On the second day of the summit, Vice President Shettima will participate in two roundtables chaired by President Lula on energy transition, as well as the review of the Paris Agreement, with a focus on nationally determined contributions and financing. At the conclusion of his engagements, the Nigerian Vice President, in company of Nigerian government officials, will proceed to the city of Brasilia for a reciprocal visit to his Brazilian counterpart, Vice President Geraldo Alckmin, who had embarked on a historic three-day visit to Nigeria earlier in June to further deepen Nigeria's South-South diplomatic ties. The Vice President is expected back in Nigeria at the end of his engagements in Brazil. All right, our next set of reports will be coming from Lagos as we link up with Adeola. Hello.
Of year travels, the Federal Road Safety Corps is scaling up measures to curb road crashes and reckless driving nationwide. At the official flag-off of a 2025 Ember Month Road Safety Sensitization campaign in Lagos, the Corps emphasized personal responsibility and sober driving as key to saving lives this festive period. Awal Yusuf Jibo reports.
The annual Don't Drink and Drive campaign, themed Take Responsibility for Your Safety, Stop Distracted Driving, is aimed at reducing crashes and promoting responsible motoring habits.
The theme reinforces the view that human factor is one of the major causes of road traffic crashes. It also draws attention to the fact that drivers are likely responsible for crashes on our highways.
According to the Corps, between the first and third quarters of 2025, over 1,300 vehicles were booked for overloading, while 3,448 motorists were apprehended for driving without valid licenses.
The record also shows that major causes of those crashes were driver fatigue, overloading of persons, conveyance of persons in hauling vehicles, and traveling with fuel in plastic containers.
Within the same period, 298 road traffic crashes were recorded. Despite these challenges, the Corps says it has achieved a 15.17% reduction in road crashes in Lagos State alone, exceeding its national target of 10%.
As the season gets busier, remember, slowing down, staying sober, and staying focused could be the difference between getting there and never arriving. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
Apart from existing laws on freedom of opinion and access to information, an act coded in the Constitution that guarantees protection of journalists has been advocated by members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm to mitigate the increasing attacks on journalists while on duty. Larry Bilei will tell us more.
Statistics from International Press Center, IPC, Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development, CJID, and Media Rights Agenda show that in 2024, 69 attacks on journalists were recorded between January and October. Sadly, the data revealed that most of the attacks came from those saddled with the responsibility of protecting the people, that is, security agents. They are responsible for 65%, that is 45 cases of the attacks.
Even some members of the public, who the work that we are doing will benefit, they attack journalists. We have had instances when towns, they attack journalists maybe at parades or some demonstrations. So these are things that we need that awareness, and people need to appreciate that the job is an important job, and they should not do anything that will dissuade them from holding the government accountable when they need to do.
Stakeholders are worried that there is no specific law that creates a distinct category of crimes against journalists with enhanced penalties or specialized investigative prosecutorial framework. In fact, existing laws are often used to restrict press freedom.
Such legislation will align with international standards, and beyond legal aspects of this, the law will also reinforce the value of journalism as a public good.
Journalists, however, call for self-assessment, especially in the era of increased information access on internet, adding that the ethos of journalism must come to play more than ever before. In Lagos, Larry Bilei, NTA News.
And those are stories from Lagos. It's back to Ogo after this timeout.
President Bola Tinubu is calling for calm among Nigerians, assuring them that his government is taking concrete steps towards ensuring better security of lives and properties of all citizens and residents in the country. The president conveyed this message through the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and the Presidential Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Nonuga, who just met with him in the State House. During the meeting, the Information Minister disclosed that the issue of the U.S. government threats on military action in Nigeria came up. The minister assured all that the government is already ahead with steps to record greater results in the fight against insecurity.
Only last week or 2 weeks ago, Mr. President, in his own desire to rekindle the security architecture of the country, reinvigorated the hierarchy of the armed forces. A new chief of defense staff and other service chiefs were appointed. Now, this is all all the issues that came out of the United States. So that tells you that Mr. President has been working assiduously to ensure that Nigeria is a country that remains safer for all Nigerians to live in. We're looking at all the issues, and we don't want to overheat the discussions, but work is ongoing, and we're also opening the channels of communication so that the international community will understand what Nigeria has been doing better, and also what we intend to further do to ensure that whatever concerns there are, either domestically here or from the international community, are answered.
All right, Honorable Minister, you said some steps have been taken, going by what you have just said. Nigerians have been suggesting so many things, including having a dialogue with the religious bodies and all of that, diplomatic means. What precisely is the government doing in this regard?
Well, it's a multiple approach. You know that discussions with the leadership of the religious groups is an ongoing effort. Mr. President has been meeting with them, and of course he will continue to do that. They're all Nigerians, and he is leading them, and so they are of course an important stakeholder in the Nigerian project. So yes, Mr. President will continue to engage with them. Mr. President will continue to engage with his national community, not just the United States, everyone, the regional bodies, the continental bodies and everyone that we think has a role to play in ensuring that Nigeria succeeds in ridding this country of these criminal elements that are helping the world to drive this narrative so that Nigeria will have a very bad name. And we know that this is not who we are as a country. So for us to be characterized as a country that is not tolerant when it comes to religion is not accurate. This is absolutely false. Nigeria has Muslim and Christian and even those who do not believe in any of these religions. And our constitution guarantees that everyone should practice his faith without let or hindrance. And Mr. President is going to respect that to the letter. So again, yes, we have these security challenges, but nowhere has there been any decision to favor one religion or the other, or to inflict violence over one religion. What has happened is that we have these extremists that are driving this narrative, and the desired outcome for them is to see that this country is divided, and we want to caution Nigerians to look deeper. This is a time for us to reflect on our nationhood, to reflect on our unity, to come together. This is not the time for division. It's not a time for rhetoric. It's not a time for politics. It is a time for nation building, a time for calling for everyone, to come together so that we can continue to have the Nigeria of our dream.
Yes, it's time to come together. Information and National Orientation Minister there. All right, so we'll be having more stories from Jos, and how is the polio eradication drive going in that state and in Plateau State. Let's now join Mary Donto.
Thank you and welcome to Jos Studio. Plateau State government is reaffirming its commitment to collaborating the World Health Organization and other partners in ensuring a polio-free state. Commissioner for Health Dr. Nicholas Bamlong gave this indication while marking the 2025 World Polio Day in Kabir, Kanke local government area of Plateau State. Ndayang and Yebagyang has the details.
The World Polio Day was marked at Kabir in Kanke local government area with a sensitization and flag-off of vaccination at the primary health care center. Addressing journalists, the commissioner said commemorating the 2025 World Polio Day is not only to celebrate progress made in eradicating the virus, but also to renew the commitment of all stakeholders towards sustaining a polio-free state. He lauded the efforts of World Health Organization and other partners for their continuous support to the state in ensuring that Plateau remains polio-free, adding that government will continue to prioritize child health and routine immunization programs.
We are calling on our health workers to remain diligent in identifying zero-dose children and strengthening surveillance. We are equally calling on community and religious leaders to continue mobilizing support and countering any misinformation that may arise.
The advocacy team, accompanied by development partners, were in Kanke local government area where they discussed strategies to strengthening community participation in immunization program. This year's theme is End Polio, Every Child, Every Vaccine, Everywhere. Ndanyan and Yabagyang, NTA News.
The state government says it has taken steps to address water challenges in Jos Metropolis. This was while signing a memorandum of understanding for the rehabilitation of Lamingo and Yakubu Gowon water treatment plants worth more than 13 billion naira. Again, Ndayang and Yebagyang has the details.
Water is one of the basic needs of man. As such, Plateau State government is doing everything possible to provide potable water for the people of the state. While signing the MOU with a reputable firm, Governor Kela Mutfwan represented assured that government will ensure smooth execution of the project.
So much going to be done in the water sector because water is a very critical sector. Health is a critical sector to us. Agric is a critical sector to us. Education is another critical one. So these are areas that government is trying to intervene.
The firm appreciated the state government for finding it worthy for the rehabilitation of the Lamingo and Yakubu Gowon treatment plants, assuring the government of early completion.
We have very rich experience in water section, and we are very confident that we can deliver a good job.
The Commissioner for Water Resources, Bashir Lawandi, thanked Governor Kele Murfan for giving the water sector the needed attention. The Managing Director of the Just Water Services Corporation and Project Director of the company says the processes for the education of the project will be duly followed.
At the end of this project, that will last not less than 12 months, water as a commodity will be available in order to be supplied to households.
The project is expected to be delivered to government in December 2026 in Jos, Ndenyan, and the Abuja. NTA News.
And that's our contribution from this end. Ogochukwuka is still standing by in our Abuja studio for the continuation of Nationwide. Good evening.
Good evening, Mary. Thank you for your contributions. And back here, Nigeria's National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, is taking bold steps to proactively connect Africa to the rest of the world through its transformative Project Fit for the Future initiative. Group Chief Executive Officer Bashir Bayo Ojulari spoke on ongoing measures towards strengthening Nigeria and NNPC Limited's position in global energy markets at ADIPEC 2025. Lydia Sampson reports.
Nigeria stands at the heart of Africa's energy future, with NNPC Limited playing a pivotal role in shaping it. As the company evolves from a traditional state corporation into a commercially driven energy leader, it is tasked with ensuring energy security while strengthening Nigeria's role as a reliable global supplier. For Bashir Bayo Ojulari, the company's vision centers on innovation, clean energy and regional collaboration, as well as driving a new era of sustainable growth across the African energy landscape.
Nigeria's deep water has only reached about 1,000 meters. Well, why is that? I think it's about technology and it's about deeper investment. We had low-hanging fruits onshore, so all the IOCs that came in focused on the onshore initially and also the shallow water, and then went as far as 1,000 meters. So what I'll say is that Nigeria still has a huge potential in deep water.
With ongoing infrastructure upgrades and digital modernization, NNPC Limited is positioning itself as a catalyst for intra-African trade and global energy partnerships.
The second is about monetizing our huge gas resource, which again we've talked about. And then we're looking at our downstream business, where we're trying to improve on our refinery, deepen our connections on our marketing and trading arm, and also a lot to do with our shipping as well. So we're reopening all of these, and so everyone is quite excited.
As NNPC Limited continues to modernize operations and embrace digital transformation, its proactive role underscores a bold vision for Africa's energy future, resilient, integrated, and globally connected. From Abu Dhabi, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Thank you, Lydia. Now, people living with disabilities play a significant role in nation building, yet they often face physical and societal barriers during elections. In the forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State, what preparations has INEC put in place to ensure a seamless voting process for this set of electorates? And now over to Onome Okadibo in Oka there to tell us in what ways INEC is ensuring seamless voting for persons with disabilities. Hello, Onome.
Ogochukwuka. Persons living with disabilities findings show that from previous elections held in Anambra State, that this set of people have been disenfranchised in the electoral process here. So a visit to INEC, we saw that INEC have put in place assistive tools for these persons so that they can have an inclusive election. So they have distributed assistive tools for persons with albinism, those that have impairment, then those that are with impairment, they have people that will give them the sign language. So they have spread all these tools across the 21 local government area of Anambra State. Then NGOs and civil societies have been having series of training, town hall meetings to sensitize key election stakeholders on the need to ensure that persons with disabilities participate fully in this Anambra election, as the Electoral Act of 2022 has amended Section 54, subsection 1 and 2, where INEC is mandated to give these people assistive tools for the election, and they also made provisions for persons to assist them, especially those with visual impairments, to able to exercise their civic rights. And the visit to some security agencies here, the NSCDC and police, they have also prepared the officers and men of their command to ensure that these persons have inclusive election in this Anambra governorship election.
Thank you very much, Onome. And Saturday is just around the corner. The whole world will be watching. Thank you for that incisive contribution. Now, the Federal High Court has again adjourned the terrorism trial against Nnamdi Kanu to the 5th of November 2025 for the defendant to enter his defense. Judiciary correspondent Austin Anyebe reports that this was after the defendant declined to enter his defense, claiming that there is no charge against him under the Nigerian law.
At the resumed trial on Tuesday, the defendant, Nnamdi Kanu, was asked to open his defense, but he claimed that there is no charge against him, hence there is no need for him to enter his defense. Raising some points from the motion filed in respect of a no case against him, Kanu cited Section 36, subsection 12 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, where he said no one can be convicted of a case where there is no charge preferred against him. He further said that the law upon which he is being tried is a repealed law. Prosecution Counsel Adegboyega Awomolo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, contends that the court should take the motion filed as his final written address and proceed to give judgment, that he has replied to all the issues raised by the defendant. But Justice James Omotosho, who chronicled the trial from 2015, maintained that in the interest of justice, both parties have agreed for an accelerated hearing and therefore cannot entertain any preliminary issues at this stage, more so that he had ruled on the earlier no-case submission entered by the defendant. He went further to clarify Section 36, subsection 12 of the Constitution, which the defendant relies upon. He said the provision cited talks about conviction and the case has not gotten to the stage, hence he should consult wisely those who are conversant with criminal prosecutions. He again adjourned the matter till 5th November 2025 for the prosecution to enter his defense. From the Federal High Court, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
The European Union, through its European Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid Operations, is investing in upgrading learning spaces in conflict-affected communities in Yobe State. The initiative aims to address critical gaps in children's education in areas impacted by the activities of non-state actors. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
While it is a well-known fact that education is the most affected sector by the activities of non-state actors in Yobe State, in 2019 the state declared a state of emergency in basic and secondary education. And since then, significant investment has been made in the sector, where we have seen the state constructed mega and model schools, recruited teachers, trained and retrained existing teachers to ensure that the sector is once again vibrant. Looking at the huge demand of the sector, the state at the time made a clarion call for local, national and international non-profit making organizations in order to key into the agenda by complementing its efforts. So that is why we've seen at many times United Nations agencies with special interest in education intervening in that regard. And the latest is the EU-supported project ECHO, renovating classrooms in Katarko. And Katarko is one of the communities that was severely affected by the activities of non-state actors. So this intervention by ECHO aims at providing a conducive learning space for pupils as well as the teachers. All this is to ensure that education is accessible to all school-age-going children in the state.
Nusa Suleiman there, telling us more about the European Union's projects in the affected areas there in Yobe State. All right, we'll now go to the House, the Senate, where a 12-member ad hoc committee has been constituted by the Senate with a mandate to conduct a holistic investigation into the state of rail lines in Nigeria. The ad hoc committee, chaired by Senator Adams Oshomole, is tasked to find out how much was borrowed for and expended on the rail projects. The decision was in response to a motion from Senator Ede Dafinone, who referenced the recent train derailments of the Jewu-Itakpe standard gauge line last Saturday. Senate expressed concern that the performance of the rail project so far leaves much to be desired.
The implementation, the uses, and the reason why we're having all the teething problems, why other countries are enjoying their rail services. They will, at the same time, also posit solution.
Meanwhile, Senate seeks understanding of contractors as it promises to fast-track approval of federal government's 1.1 trillion naira latest domestic loan request to settle outstanding payments. The House of Representatives has given the executive arm of government 7 days ultimatum to pay local contractors for jobs executed in 2025. This followed a motion of urgent national importance moved by Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda and adopted unanimously through a voice vote. The House then went ahead to suspend plenary for 7 days until the local contractors who disrupted vehicular movements into the National Assembly are paid.
The President instructed that the ministers should immediately effect payment of local contractors and execution of the budgets. Said instruction was not implemented several weeks thereafter. The House further notes that the non-payment of local contractors has worked severe hardship on both the local contractors and indeed the Nigerian populace, and that this has brought tension and increased poverty in our country. Consequently, the House is urged to resolve that the Minister of Finance, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, and the Accountant General of the country be given 7 days to make the aforesaid payments of all outstanding bills to local contractors for 2024 and implement the 2025 budget.
This House should adjourn for 1 week. Sitting of plenary should adjourn for 1 week. After 1 week, when we hear from the side of the executives about this issue of non-payment and implementation of 2024-2025 budget, then we will continue sitting, Mr. Speaker.
The contractors promised that during this 1 week they will continue to demonstrate, make this place inconducive for us and inaccessible for us. So we won't be fighting with them at the gate to come in. So it's sensible for us to keep away and give the government, the executive, the opportunity to do the needful. I agree very much with the motion and I second it.
Leader, move that we adopt our vote and proceeding.
The leadership of the House commended the President for previously directing immediate payments of local contractors, but pointed out a delay in effecting all the payments, which it promised to iron out with the executive. All right, Rivers State government has mandated commercial vehicles in the state to maintain color code of navy blue and white. This is for easy identification, distinct from private ones, and to promote orderliness and passenger security. With the increasing menace of kidnapping, one-chance robbers, and other transport-related activities, stakeholders call for full enforcement of the policy to enhance passenger safety. Robinson Daritede reports.
from the blue-white-blue color scheme, authorities also have in place a numbering system for commercial vehicles. These are coded according to specified routes to further enhance traceability and safety of passengers. However, despite repeated pronouncements, enforcement of this policy has remained weak, leaving many residents concerned about the porous safety net for tracing suspected criminals or goods forgotten by passengers in such vehicles.
The one chance and others, all those ones, if they paint the colors, if they paint those colors, they have a physical, those triangles, something, they'll put it in top of the bus. That bus, there's a number on top of the bus, there's the number. See whether there's one chance they kidnap anything or they collect anything from many buses. Now this motor, they will look on top of the roof. They will see the serial number of that bus. They will detect to find that bus.
All the vehicles that is running in the state must have one color and have their union so that they can trace whatever issue that comes up with the passengers.
While some sections of the public agree that full compliance will help curb crimes, others insist that the state needs a stronger and more efficient security network rather than another round of regulations. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Daratede, NTA News.
All right, let's rejoin Robinson Daratede in Port Harcourt to tell us more on the color coding and why now. Robinson, you are on.
Yes, River State, as we all know, is a metropolitan city, particularly Port Harcourt, where there are a lot of taxis and commercial vehicles, and this has also increased the number of criminal activities, especially the ones that are related to transport system. The major one that has given public concern is the one that is described as public one chance. These are vehicle owners or transporters who take advantage of passengers. Sometimes they also go with POS machines and ensure that they rob passengers of their availables. This is the more reason why people are crying out that government should implement the painting of public vehicles and also giving them code numbers so that they can easily trace the criminal activities of these people. A staff of NTA sometimes ago this year also fell a victim of this. Victoria Osai, who was traveling to Lagos, and on her way from NTA gate to the park, she was robbed by these criminal activities. There is a bus called mini bus that they mostly use now. What they do is that when they carry you on the way, they will rob you of your valuables. So the government needs to quickly implement this policy so that those who are involved in these criminal activities could be traced. It's a very serious issue, and unfortunately there are no commissioners on ground now. Our effort to speak with the commissioner proved abortive because the permanent secretary could not speak to us. But this is a major task before the incoming Commissioner of Transportation, that all the vehicles in the state, particularly the public vehicles, must be painted with the blue, white, blue color, and also they must be given a number code so that they can easily be traced.
All right, Robinson there in our Port Harcourt. Thank you so much for reminding government on that. And now the federal government is promising support to the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives towards hosting the Commonwealth Nurses and Midwives Federation Conference coming up in 2026. Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, made a commitment when he received executives of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives in the State House. President of the association, Haruna Maman, led other executives on the courtesy visit to seek support for the upcoming event. The conference of the Commonwealth Nurses and Midwives Federation, which comprises 58 countries, is slated to hold in April 2026.
It is gladdening to inform you, Your Excellencies, that Nigeria, being the most blessed country in the world, is the first African nation that will contest and win this important event. This great feat is not unconnected to the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The Chief of Staff to the President promised government support where necessary, adding that a successful hosting of the global event would be a pride for the country.
Priority areas of this government. I cannot begin to reel out the very many accomplishments of this government in the health sector, many of which you yourself are aware, including the revitalization of health centers, our primary healthcare centers, and so many other areas where this government has prioritized in the health sector. We'll be more than happy, again, like I said, it is worth repeating, to play a role. It is to be our pride that you showcase what we're doing and what we are still going to do when your colleagues come over.
Let's now take more reports from our Ibadan Network Center, and Larry Do is our guide.
Gochukuka, and welcome to Ibadan. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, says the federal government has taken additional steps to strengthen Nigeria's power sector by supporting locally manufacturers of solar panel production. He stated these at the Bayo Adelabu Foundation 2025 Mega Empowerment and Economic Relief Program in Oyo State. Wasiu Rauf has details.
The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, noted that the initiative to support solar panel manufacturers in Nigeria is to boost the nation's total power generation capacity by nearly 80%. The minister, who commended President Bola Tinubu for his ongoing reforms across all sectors, acknowledged the fact that the changes may bring temporary hardship, but the positive impact is already evident through improving economic indicators. The minister, who presented checks to union leaders, noted that this is in appreciation of God's grace in his life. He extended business support grants to traders, artisans, and farmers, aimed at improving their livelihood and easing economic pressure. Adelabu said his goal is to serve the people, appealing for their total support in return.
We owe our people the responsibility to lessen the pressure of economic hardship on them.
Beneficiaries expressed appreciation for the gesture, describing it as timely and impactful, saying it would go a long way in their livelihoods.
This gesture is one of the gestures we are expecting at this time of the ending of the year. So it will empower our farmers at least to move forward for the rest of this year.
A total of 100 beneficiaries drawn from farmers, traders, and artisans association across the 33 local government areas of Oyo State received grants amounting to 100 million naira.
Television broadcasting is not just information sharing, but a legacy that spans beyond active service. These resonated at the Western Nigeria Television WNTV Alumni Foundation as the TV pioneers came together for the grand finale of the 2025 annual reunion of the organization held within the premises of NTA Ibadan. The event brought together veterans of Africa's first television station. Kennedy Omolosho brings us details.
Established October 29, 1959, the Western Nigerian Television, WNTV, has come a long way, but worthy of note is the quality of manpower resource that has kept the dreams of the forefathers afloat. The atmosphere at the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Ibadan, during the celebration of the alumni of the Western Nigerian Television was therefore that of reminiscing and camaraderie. The event brought together veteran broadcasters who contributed to the success of Africa's first television station, as they celebrate its enduring legacies in Nigerian broadcasting, urging contemporary broadcasters to emulate the professionalism that defined WNTV's early years. Speakers highlighted television's vital role in education, information, and cultural preservation.
So we like to go back memory lane, and you see when Arelu and Co. and people, the road will be very, very empty because people will rush them.
In those days, the mindset is to do the job professionally. The mindset is to ensure that programs that run on air are attractive to the audience.
We had everything we needed that time to work with.
It's a historical edifice
that should not be allowed to glide like that.
Awards of recognition were presented to distinguished members, including Bale of Ekotedu, Taye Ayoride, for outstanding contributions to the broadcasting industry. The event was filled with music, dance, and moments of reminiscence as members reconnected and renewed their commitment to upholding the proud legacies of WNTV, which remains the foundation of modern television broadcasting in Nigeria. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
Those are the trend reports from Ibadan. This hour nationwide continues with Ogo Chukwuka in our Abuja studios. After this break, please stay.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, with undying demand. We make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Each ethnicity is unique, we are more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, we are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
Thanks for staying tuned. And from Kaduna says about 100 widows in Kaduna State have received houses free of charge. The initiative, a collaborative effort between the federal government, the Kaduna State government, and the Family Homes Fund, is to support vulnerable women and provide them with decent accommodation. Mohammed reports.
It is a day of joy here, as collaborative effort between the Kaduna State government, the federal government, and Family Homes Funds provides about 100 housing units for widows.
The social housing program underscores the commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration in leveraging housing as a catalyst for social inclusion, economic empowerment, and the creation of resilient communities.
That these 100 homes will be delivered to the beneficiaries free of charge. And this is the vision of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The project fits perfectly in what we are doing at the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development through our renewed Hope Social Housing Estate Program, which focuses on providing decent, affordable homes for low-income, and vulnerable Nigerians across the country.
This is not just about buildings. It is about restoring dignity and creating opportunities for widows and vulnerable families across Kaduna State. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
And now let's get some stories in sports.
Team Nigeria is set to make a bold statement on the global stage as 27 African countries storm Riyadh for the 2025 Islamic Solidarity Games. Nigeria joins 26 other African countries in the battle for medals across 21 sports from 7th November 2025. In another development, the Karate Federation of Nigeria, in collaboration with Platinum and Crit Tech Global Limited, has completed preparation for the first Dragon Shotokan National Karate Championship in Abuja, scheduled for November 27 to 29 at the Package B of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. The event is KFN Factor 6 ranking competition that will bring together top karatecas from all states competing for national recognition. With robust support from sponsors, the championship is set to offer attractive prizes for the winners.
The benefits of karate are numerous. It helps with boosting self-confidence, physical fitness, resilience.
In table tennis, unseeded Team Oyo stunned other contenders to win the second edition of Senator Tokunbo Abiru Mixed Team Championship held at the Molade Okoya Thomas Hall of the Tessin Balogun Stadium, Lagos. Team Oyo emerged the overall winners after defeating Team Bayelsa 3-1 at the final.
It's an improved version, and we also hope for a better turnout in the next
the next year. We are committed to this cause and will continue to champion the cause of sports.
In grassroots sports development, the 5th edition of Amuwo Games is underway in Amuwo-Odofin local government area of Lagos State. With the theme, Council's Camp Culture, organizers of the 4 weekends event in November are using the games to channel energy of the youth towards a positive cause.
You can impact your generation in a legit way, and the legitimacy must be celebrated. This is what we want to drive home with Amuwo Games 2025.
Youth will compete in 16 games, including football, Scrabble, and a mini marathon, among other events. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NT News.
And that's Nationwide today. We thank you so much for finding the time to watch. Do have a great evening.